What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Tractive XL. I think I've mentioned this thing in a few of my previous videos. I've covered the Halo, the Halo Spot On comparison videos, best GPS collars, and the Tractive XL has come up previously. I've had my hands on this one for a little while now, and there are a surprising number of specs and features that come with this smart collar that are worth covering, I think, especially because it's one of the most affordable smart collars on the market right now. We'll do a general unboxing, even though I've already taken the thing out of the box, so I can pretty much show you, what comes in the box, what to expect. We'll go over the specs. We'll even take a drive down the road, get the dogs outside, show you what this collar has to offer, where its pitfalls are and where its pros are, so you can make the right decision, the best decision for your dog. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, because that's how we're gonna be able to keep rolling out this content. The more likes and subscribes, the better, because that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. I could do a traditional unboxing here, but since the package only comes with the Tractive XL and the snap-on magnetic charger, I'm just going to show you how exactly this fits onto the collar. It comes with this rubber backing, and you can remove that fairly easily. Just pull them off of the clamps. Then you place your collar about where you want it. You can adjust it later, so it's no big deal. And then you just take your rubber backing and buckle each of the 6 points back into place. And you can see I'm pulling them here and popping them right back into place without any issue whatsoever. Once they're all clamped back on, you can shift the collar up and down as much as you like to basically put the Tractive anywhere along the collar's length that you want it. And that's really all there is to it. All right, so Aries is in the backyard right now, and we're just kind of looking at the tracker, and I'm going to superimpose it on the screen. And just kind of walking along with him just to see how the tracker works. And so far he's just kind of coming along with me here. I'll give you a better view. He's just outside the inner circle right now, and it looks, let's see if it follows with him. Come on, Aries, come on. Yep, coming right along. It's outside the circle now. That's pretty nifty, pretty accurate, I would say. Now what we're doing is I'm going to take this thing for a spin, and let's see how well it tracks going through the neighborhoods. So far it's sticking with me pretty good. I just got the dog collar sitting in the seat with me. Sticking with us pretty accurate. Now we are outside of it. Well outside of it. It's not really missing a beat. Definitely outside the safe zone, but you saw how long it took to give me that notification. Maybe about what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds there before I got the notification. See the long line, 662 feet from the home area. Radar has me in Bluetooth range, and that's because I am literally in the car with the collar. You can also activate the light on it, as you can see here, this button. That will turn a light on, so if you're looking for your dog in the middle of the night and you're walking down a street, you can turn on the noise and you can hear the collar, and you can turn on the light and you can see the collar. So even if your dog may be up in the tree line or something, the collar you should be able to see it. So far, I'd say that the live tracking feature and the tracking outside of the circle once you get outside of Wi-Fi is probably the most accurate I've seen in a collar. I don't think that Spot On or Halo tracks with that kind of precision. As you can see when I was driving down the road, that it was sticking right with me. Now the live tracking feature only really works as long as you're inside of that circle and close enough to connect to Wi-Fi. Once you get outside of that Wi-Fi range, that's when you kind of start relying on radar and the other tracking features on the device. But either way, inside the circle or outside the circle, I think that the Tractive XL has shown that it is very precise when it comes to tracking. What are some of the pros and cons that the Tractive XL offers? Well, to start with, they're fairly extensive. It's got a lot of pros to it. It's got a lot of cons to it. As an affordable option, it has a surprising number of pros with it. And number one, first and foremost, in my opinion, is its durability factor. I mean, this is a hard little nut to crack. You're not gonna
you know, my dogs have been outside playing and roughhousing and everything, and I mean, it looks like it just came out of the box. Like there's not even a scratch on it. You can tell with its heft, it feels like a rock. It's not going anywhere. It's also waterproof, so you don't have to worry about, you know, if your dogs are caught outside in the rain or they jump into a pool or something, you know, the Tractive is going to be just fine. It's got unlimited range, which I like. Now, of course, you have to be on the subscription if you want, you know, worldwide coverage. You have to have a subscription. But I mean, your dog could be on the other side of the planet in China, as long as he or she's got the collar on, you know, you're going to be able to see them on your on the Tractive app. So the range is quite extensive. It's got a very interactive map with a lot of different viewpoints on there, so you can kind of get on there, mess around, customize it and whatnot. You've got I think another one of the pros that I like is the customization levels with your safe zones, and you've got, you know, your basic singular safe zone that you pretty much create when you open the collar, and then you've got your extra keep out stuff. You know, you can get alerts if your pet wanders into an area that you've created that you don't want him to be in. Tracking features on there are pretty useful. It does use a SIM card just like a smartphone with cell coverage and GPS data. You get a free replacement for up to 2 years, you know, under the warranty package. And if you have one of like the 5-year subscription, something goes wrong with it, that entire 5-year subscription, you can get a free replacement, and you don't have to do anything wild or crazy when the new Tractive rolls in. You just simply flip everything over to that on the app, add the new Tractive, delete the old one, and all of your pertinent data will transfer over to the pet you have on that Tractive profile. So you're not going to lose all your information in case something goes wrong with the Tractive, and you can replace it for a long period of time. It's got the live tracking, you know, it's up to date. It's not like some of the other virtual fences on the market. If your dog crosses the boundary, it does not correct the dog, but it will immediately send you alerts, so you can correct the dog. And honestly, that's a pretty effective way anyway, because, you know, you're going to have patience, and you're going to have to spend time with your dog, and you're going to have to train your dog. So the Tractive kind of goes hand in hand with that. It's not actively, you know, correcting your dog. If you have physical fencing and your dog jumps over it, well, the Tractive will send you an alert, and you'll know what's going on. You'll be able to go outside and get your dog back home as quickly as possible. As far as the cons are concerned, there's a few of them. You know, the Tractive suffers from one of the same things that a lot of these other smart collars suffer for. It's not designed for really small animals. It's big. So if you have a small dog with a neck larger than 9.9 inches, it will work, but it will look weird because it's going to be as big as the dog's head almost. Another con that I don't really like about it is you have a minimum safe area, safe zone that you can create with your I guess you'd call it a virtual fence. It's not quite the same in my mind. But you also experience this with the Spot On. The Spot On has a minimum of a half an acre by a half an acre. This one is a radius circle, and the minimum is 164 feet, so it's not going to be nearly as effective. In fact, it'll barely work right at all if you have an area smaller than that. So if you have a tiny little yard, it has to be set at 164 square feet, even though that means your dog could leave your yard and wander a good little ways before you'll start getting alerts. This rubber backing on the back is another con for me, and the reason I say that is it's kind of sticky, and you can see that it's stretchy, and it will be easy for, especially long-haired dogs. It aggravates my dog a little bit. The other con that I don't like about it is it suffers the same GPS issues that some other smart collars out there suffer from. And when your dog goes up under trees, I mean, it might as well not exist at all as far as the GPS. It's terrible. So if your dog wanders up under the trees, it's going to be problematic for your GPS. So to cap things off, what do we like about the Tractive XL? Other than the fact that, it's an XL, so it's basically the updated version of the standard Tractive. And of course, they got a Tractive out there for cats. You got the little Tractive Mini, and you even have a Tractive XL Adventure, which is for, big dogs. I gotta say, I like the real-time tracking on this device. I think that we showed that, driving down the road or just in the yard, that it's very, very accurate. In fact, it's probably more accurate to me than the Spot On and the Halo, but only in terms of tracking. When it comes to the live tracking aspect, that's a little more hit and miss, but I don't fault the collar for that. I think that that's, you know, that's your Wi-Fi, because the live tracking feature only really works as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi. And if you've got a large yard, and Wi-Fi is very, very fickle. I mean, it does not do well with brick. It doesn't do well with concrete or passing through metal. So, you know, when you get outside, that Wi-Fi signal's got to pass through those barriers, especially if you're using 5.0 gigahertz. The radar mode I thought was pretty good. It's pretty solid. The closer I got to the collar, the more the circle filled in with the blue color filled in on the circle. The augmented reality, I'm not sold on that. I mean, honestly, do you need it? No, it's there, it's cool. I like augmented reality. I think it's a nifty little game thing that you can play on your iPhone or your Android if you have it. I like the fact that it saves a lot of data points, you know, your location histories and whatnot. I think that location sharing is very convenient, because usually if your dog goes missing, it's not just you out there looking for your dog, it's your family, it's your friends, and you can, you know, bounce the locations. You can share the location back and forth between everybody, so you can kind of work together to create yourself a little grid and search for your dog that way. So I really like the location sharing. I like the maps on it. The maps are great. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, it's nothing to write home about. They're very similar to Halo and Spot On and some of the other smart collars out there, you know, in terms of just, you know, your background map display. You get the satellite and you get the regular paper looking map feature. I like it, it works, especially with the location tracking being as precise as it is, and going down the road, I mean, it's literally following me right down the streets and everything. And the virtual fences, I think, are okay. It does, you know, you can't create a virtual fence that's smaller than 150 feet, which is what it shows on the screen. Now on the site it says 164 feet, but on the screen it shows 150 feet. So you're restrained to something no smaller than 150 foot radius. So you're a little constricted by that, but it's not a huge deal, because this is mostly a tracking device. It's not a collar where your dog wanders outside of the boundary and the collar corrects the dog to make the dog want to return. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty solid little affordable alternative to the Spot On and the Halo. I don't think that it's going to usurp the Halo 3 and Spot On second generation throne anytime soon. I think those are very different, better collars for a variety of reasons that I've, you know, detailed in previous videos. But as an affordable alternative for having something that you can, you know, keep your dog safe and, you know, track your dog and work with your dog, teaching your dog to, you know, stay in your property area and not jump your fence or do anything crazy like that. I think it's effective enough that it's definitely a viable alternative that you can look at, rather than spending a lot of money on something like the Halo or the Spot On or some of the other smart collars out there that are a lot more expensive. With that being said, is this the right collar for you? Well, like I said, that depends. You know, if you just want to track your dog, then it's great. If you want to contain your dog, you're gonna have to go for something else. But either way, like I said earlier in the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. This is only like the third collar I've covered, and we got a lot more stuff coming in. I've got a whole bunch of different devices I'm working on reviewing here, Petler Bro, litter boxes, you know, you name it. I'm probably going to cover it here in the near future. So those likes and subscriptions are going to help us out a lot. I really appreciate it, and y'all have a fantastic day.